don't really like to define the meaning of our songs because we look at it as art, and art should always be open to your personal interpretation or, you know, whatever your taste dictates. So we don't really like to define the songs. The video is a pretty basic video. It's a live video, and our bass player Shavo directed it. It's basically his debut as a director, and, you know, we feel he did a good job. We don't really want to define our songs. That's for you to define for yourself. Sides to every city, and there's bad sides to every city. We happen to live in LA, and you know, I think we each take something special out of it, and there's things that we don't like about it, you know, but that's going to be the case wherever you live.
LA is pretty widespread. You know, you got your suburbs, which is like the same as any place in the world, families living, you know, regular streets, and then you have Hollywood, West Hollywood area, which is, you know, you've got, that's like your main town, but it's so decentralized that there is no central place with big buildings that you can go to. You can go anywhere, and everything's 20, 25 minutes away. You have to have a car in LA. That's why they have that song, Nobody Walks in LA.
It's true. And we don't use mass transit either. It's just about everybody drives in LA, like you said. And I think one of the coolest things about LA is that it's pretty close to whatever you want. If you want a forest, you know, you can drive 2 hours, mountains, you know, you can go skiing, there's the beach. This sounds like a commercial for tourism, but there's a lot of positives to it, and then there's negatives to it. There's a lot of crime. The more people you have, the less privacy you're going to have, the more pollution you're going to have.
There's a lot of people that live there that are not from LA, so there's a lot of loneliness because of that, you know, because everyone's trying to make it in the entertainment business or whatever, and their families are usually in the Midwest or the East or whatever, and you know, so there's that aspect of LA as well. When people go to LA, sometimes they go to Hollywood or West LA, and they're like, people are not nice, and you know, and part of it has to do with those people are very lonely in a big city where their families are maybe thousands of miles away.
We did collaborate with Wu-Tang. In fact, many different artists did. It was a collaboration of maybe 15 or 20 different bands with Wu-Tang Clan members. So that's already been done, and
we covered their song Shame. And we did. Oh yeah,
we toured with Method Man and Redman.
Method Man and Redman, but we did a cover of Shame, and we were in the studio after we had done our own version of that with System. We were in the studio with RZA, and yeah, and he did some new lyrics on the second verse and completed it. So we have a song that we've done with Wu-Tang. They're one of their songs that we've covered with them, and it's on Loud Records, distributed by Sony.
I'm sure it's available. I mean, it's not that we weren't honored by the fact that we were nominated for a Grammy. It's a big honor for us to be nominated by our peers. But, you know, that's not going to change our lives in one way or another. It's not going to change the way we go with our art one way or another. It's just an accolade like many other ones. And if you put too much emphasis on it, it'll change your thoughts and it'll change the path that you're on. And we're just not interested in that, you know.
I'm personally happy Tool won because I think they're like one of the bands that probably would care least about the award, and that's awesome.
But you know, as far as the Grammys, I think they're having a tough time recovering from the fiasco with Metallica and, you know, Jethro Tull way back when, a couple of years back.
In the same category, yeah.
Not only that, but Jethro Tull won Best Heavy Metal Act, and that was just like, how could I really put too much emphasis on someone that picks Jethro Tull over Metallica for Best Heavy Metal Act? Not that Jethro Tull isn't talented. I think they're very talented, and
they're not metal.
They're not metal, in my opinion. You know, how do they win Best Metal Act? I don't know. So who's really picking the Grammys?
Not grandmas.
Maybe it is grandmas.
I wish it was. The way that our lives are in society, in modern society, you got to kind of go out of your way to think about global things, to think about things that affect everyone, because we're designed to kind of like just walk in this line and think about our own lives. And it's somewhat of a selfish existence, but you can't really blame most people because that's how we've been programmed in a way and been raised in this society. So it does take a little extra work to break out of that for each of us to see the grander horizon of things happening, you know.
The average citizen of any country is so worried about paying his bills, putting his kids, you know, clothing their children and surviving, paying their credit card bills, paying their mortgage. You know, you have a 30-year mortgage. I mean, you work 6 days, 5 days a week, whatever it may be. The little time that you have at home, you want to spend with your family and, you know, be acquainted with them at least somewhat before they, you know, leave the household. And the last thing you have time for in your life is concerns that are happening 10,000, 15,000 miles away, you know. And the societies that we're in happen to form in this way so that we really can't do anything about anything, or don't have time to, or don't think we have time to, because we're too busy trying to pay off our new car, our new house, and all that stuff that really doesn't mean anything. Once again, for us, and I want people to understand this, it's not, what determines your success is not how many albums you sell, how much money you make, or how much pussy you get. What determines your success is the feeling that you have when you finish that album. The day that we finished recording, we were just as proud of this album as we are now. And if it only sold 100,000 copies, we would be just as proud of this album as we are now.